Hi, I'm Camille. I'm an animal communicator, a healer, a channel, and a storyteller. And today's story that I'd like to share with you is about a dog called Murphy Brown who had to have a job. I was first aware of Murphy Brown when her humans called me, Debbie and Judy. Murphy Brown was a brown lab, and she was living with them and had since she was a puppy, and she was still basically a puppy. She was like 10 and a half months old. They called me because they were seriously concerned that she wasn't bonding with them. They said that when they came home, she wasn't excited to see them. She didn't seem to have a lot of joy in her life. She didn't play with any toys. She just looked kind of bored, and they were concerned. So I agreed to see Murphy Brown and them in a few days' time. And meanwhile, what I usually do with an animal before I see them is I call their energy to me while I meditate and I have a chat with them. And so that's what I did with Murphy Brown. And then I went to see Murphy Brown. But the message I received from Murphy Brown prior to going to see her was that she was very unhappy in the house she was in and that she needed to go somewhere else. She needed to do something, she said. When I visited with Debbie and Judy and Murphy, the first thing I did when I saw Murphy was I said, "What a wonderful puppy you are." And her response to me was, with great dignity, "I am not a puppy," she said. I went, "Excuse me, you're a beautiful dog." That was fine. We all settled down in to have a chat, and I told Debbie and Judy that Murphy Brown was not happy, that she really was a dog that needed to be much more active and to go somewhere else. They were upset, of course. We all were. Murphy was as well. She said she really appreciated what they'd done and thanked them for their good care, but she needed to go somewhere else. In talking to the women, they said that the only time Murphy seemed to be really engaged and really happy was when she was doing obedience training and obedience, tasks. But they'd gone to all the highest levels of obedience they could with her and didn't want to do any more. They really wanted to just chill out with her and not have to do so much work. That wasn't going to cut it for Murphy. She absolutely needed to go someplace, and I suggested to them that they check out either the canine unit at the local police station or search and rescue, something like that. That's what kept coming into my head about Murphy Brown. And that was the end of the visit. It was kind of sad. I love happy endings to my visits, and that wasn't one. About a week later, I received word from Debbie. They had been out at the lake, and she'd been in a field by their cabin and was putting Murphy through all her paces when their neighbor came up with his dog and came into the same field. And so Debbie started to talk to him, and it turned out the neighbor was a sergeant in the police and in the canine unit. And so she told him the story about Murphy and that Murphy needed some other work, needed something to do. So he started to put Murphy through her paces, and she impressed him so much that he asked Debbie if he could take Murphy into work and show and put her into the next training aspect of the work, which was, I think it took place at the airport in a big warehouse. More tests for Murphy. Now, it was unusual for him even to consider Murphy because the police never took dogs that were under a year old, and Murphy was not a year old yet. Debbie said that he could take Murphy, and he and Murphy left the field. Murphy didn't even turn around and say goodbye. She was happy, and she was gone. The next I heard, Murphy had gone through all her testing and had been successful and was now with the Winnipeg Police. Then I heard that wasn't good enough. Murphy still needed more training and specialty training, and she then was with a search and rescue a fellow that was looking for a dog. And he took her to even further training in search and rescue, and she was so sharp and so good at it that she was making decisions that humans should be making, but Murphy Brown was making them. He took her all over the world. She actually became one of the most successful search and rescue dogs in North America. And that's the story of Murphy Brown. Now, we go back to Debbie and Judy, who lost their beloved dog, sent her on to another place because they knew she wasn't happy, and that was a great sacrifice for them. Well, they got 2 puppies that were chocolate labs, and they're all living happily together now. So that's the story of Murphy Brown, the dog that needed a job. If you want to hear more stories, subscribe. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram or as well. Check in on my website, which is bluewolfspeaks.com. And until next time, remember, listen to your animals. They're always talking to you.